speech that explains a bit about Darvo, and it comes from Malcolm X confronting white oppression, and it's from speeches.usa. And so, yes, there have been speeches of writings that touch on how oppressors, regardless of what race, regardless of what background, flip reality. So the real victims are made to look like the problem. Through Malcolm X is the clearest and closest to what describes Darvo: deny, attack, reverse, offender. Malcolm X directly describes how systems reverse the roles of victim and victimizer, especially through the media. In one well-known passage, he explains that with skillful manipulating of the press, they make the victim look like the criminal, and the criminal look like the victim. To reverse situations have been, it's talked about a lot now in with psychology, but it has been talked about for many, many years in the reversing of roles, and races in reversed, and cycle people into seeing self-defense as violence in reverse. So language like races in reverse is used to shame black resistance while hiding the original harm. So here, another one is Minister Louis Farrakhan, often talks about psychological reversal, while supremacy producing black inferiority, and then blaming black people for the conditions that are created. We see that in everyday life. So, the redlining, the this, the that, and now, the drugs that are being brought into the system, the mental illnesses that are not being addressed, but it's now your problem because you're doing it, you're acting it out, and you're the problem now. He frames it as reality, where black people are not prejudiced, but reacting to centuries of concrete oppression, while society paints them as the irrational aggressions. And here is an example of that from Speakola.com, is speeches, great and small. And I'll just put a copy of this here. One is here are 30 million people who don't wear their own names on the Phil Donahue show, Donahue in 1990. Okay, here's something else that's pretty interesting to me. I'm just sharing out loud. Martin Luther King Jr. is less about playing the victim, it says here, language, and more about how systems crush people and then blame them for the outcomes. He wrote that slavery and segregation deliberately implanted a sense of inferiority and dependence. Then society judged black people as if they freely choose those broken conditions. Psychological enslavement and shattered dreams must push some into self-destructive paths, which are then used as proof they are the problem. He emphasized that the mind, enslaved narrative, lets oppressors deny their role while depicting the oppressed as defective. So for Malcolm X, to search for videos, audio using the quote, with skillful manipulating of the press, they make the victim look like the criminal and the criminal look like the victim. For Farrakhan, like the Donahue appearance where he describes how black people's reality is being like a chronic pathological liar, while white society avoids responsibility. For Martin Luther King, pull from where do we go from here? Chaos or community? Passages on psychological slavery and inferiority being manufactured, then blamed on black people. And so what I say after looking at that today is that, I don't know, the first thing come to my mind, I heard the song came up, Ain't No Stopping Us Now. And when I listened to those words, leave the naysayers, the haters, the liars behind, and keep it moving. Ain't no stopping us. Ain't no stopping us now. You can't make people do something that you want to do. There are ways to protect yourself against these type of people who continue to spew hate, who continue to try to inflict harm. There are ways to protect yourself, and always be aware that just like in the workplace environment, just like in families, just like in neighborhoods, just like in business partners, having business partners or friends or family, it's somebody on the sidelines is waiting for you to slip up. Somebody on the sidelines that hate and despise and don't want you to advance, or they feel as though you're not conforming to them and beefing them up. There are ways to protect yourself against these type of people regardless of who it is. And leave them behind, because ain't no stopping you now. Fits, wear it. If the shoe don't fit, you can't put it on. Okay, I just feel the need to say a couple of words from Ain't No Stopping Us Now by McFadden and Whitehead. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. Ain't no stopping us now. We got the groove. And the song talks about having been held down in the past, refusing to be held back any longer, leaving negative people behind. That's the key. And moving forward with confidence and unity. I'm adding to this, not blind unity. That's it. Peace. I cannot leave this part out. It's very important to realize it's deeper, way, way deeper than acting on someone you don't like, acting on someone you do like. These characteristics and ways of believing does not matter in situations like this. It don't matter who you like, it don't matter who you dislike. It's something deeper for those that get it, for those who know, blah, blah, blah.